Hi, sisters, and welcome to our brand new podcast, Tea Time. I'm Bailey Christensen, and I'm with Cody Bennett, and today we will be discussing James Charles.
Yeah, so basically, everything happened on the start of May 10th, where a old member of the beauty community, Tati Westbrook, came out with a video. Actually, no, the entire thing started when James Charles, after Coachella, promoted a vitamin company that is in direct competition with Tati Westbrook's own vitamin company. So that fueled Tati to make a 43-minute video on James Charles, pretty much exposing him for everything that he's done over the past years that he's been in, like the past 3 years that he's been in the industry.
Yeah, and so one of the problems with that is Tati offered James a spot to promote her product, but he said no because his audience is full of teenagers. But then he's now promoting a sleeping pill for anxiety to kids, which his fan base is anywhere from like 10-year-olds to 18, somewhere around there. So what would the need for sleeping pills? That's one of her main points.
I also want to give a quick shout out to Sugar Bear Hair. I met their team weekend one at Coachella, and they really helped me and my friends out with sister security because it was crazy. You guys probably already know about their iconic hair vitamins, but they just came out with brand new vegan sleep vitamins. And first of all, they taste so bomb. But most importantly, I've been dealing with a lot of anxiety recently, and it always comes late at night when I'm laying in bed thinking, which is not fun or fresh. So I've been taking these 30 minutes before bed, and they've been really, really helping. So if you guys want to check them out, you can swipe up.
So I think she originally addressed this on Instagram, on an Instagram Live. And I think James was freaking out, texting her, calling her. And she had heard that he had talked to some drama accounts about the situation. I don't think she knew any of what he said. So she decided to make her video in which she completely outed the situation. She talked about their whole friendship as a whole, and she also addressed aspects of him being a sexual predator, which has led to him losing over
2.5 million subscribers.
You know, it's really disgusting to manipulate someone's sexuality, especially when they are still, emerging into adulthood and don't quite have everything figured out. You are using your fame, your power, your money to play with people's emotions. You're threatening to ruin them. You're threatening to embarrass them. And you're doing that to have them behave sexually in your favor, even if they're straight. And you know what? That's not okay.
The entire situation pretty much boils down from James not promoting a vitamin that Tati was selling. So basically PewDiePie even addressed the situation, the biggest YouTuber on the platform, 95 million subscribers. It's just, he even defends James Charles here because he sees Tati as this person that did it for her own personal gain, to destroy James Charles' career, to get his subs over from his account to hers, and it basically boils down to that he was making all these remarks about straight men while he himself is gay. Like the one instance that Tati brought up was the guy, the waiter from Seattle. It was on Valentine's Day, and it was for Tati Westbrook's birthday, and they all went out to dinner. And the waiter that came out on YouTube talked about his situation, and pretty much what Tati said in her video was that James was making all these sexual remarks about doing stuff to him in detail, that during dinner even with his family, and then she had to apologize to him, to her family on behalf of him.
Time and place. And you did it at my birthday dinner, talking in detail about things you wanted to do to the waiter. And when I said, James, he's straight, your response was, doesn't matter, I'm a celebrity. So freaking gross.
And his behavior.
Which I think that's unacceptable, but Thinking of James's age, I feel like it's not very uncommon for somebody to make sexual remarks about a waiter, but I think where he really pushed it was actually addressing the waiter, and the waiter actually got in contact with him, and they met up at James's hotel, I believe, where they interacted for a while, and then the waiter decided to leave, and he eventually came out as straight. He had cleared his...
He was bi-curious at the time.
Yeah. So then James messaged the waiter eventually, and you can see their conversation after the waiter published their pictures of their conversation on his YouTube channel.
The next day, my sister convinced me to direct message James Charles, and I did. We can throw the screenshot up here somewhere in post. I said, LOL, it's Sam the busser from John Howie. John Howie's the restaurant that we worked at. He replied with OMFG, and then I replied with LMAO. Then he asked me how I was, and then you can kind of read here. He's like, sorry about last night, you're very attractive. And then I responded with, it's all good, very flattering actually. And he said, love that. Did not know you were 19, oh my god, I am too. We proceeded to talk for a while. It was his last night in Seattle. He actually invited me out to his hotel.
One of my biggest problems with this whole situation in general would have to be the fact that, okay, Tati did help James with his entire career. She brought him money, raised his YouTube channel, his Instagram followers, helped him start with his whole makeup production, and so I get how she feels a personal connection to him, and they seem to have been very close, but her whole video seems very weirdly played out. She starts the video by showing her promoting James's products through his code, use James 10 for 10% off, and she kind of shows herself in this like highly stance that she was like the best of friend and like supported him, and then she starts to get into it, and the way she talks about herself I thought was a little questionable, because she starts saying that she is somebody that people look up to, she's a role model, she plans on donating all of her money to charity, and I feel like that aspect also turned more people away from James, because it put him at a level of sexual predator and her at a level of giving her money away to charity and being this highly figure in the community, which she had never even been. I had never heard of her name until this whole scandal, and at the time she had 5.7, is that what you said? Yep. Million subscribers. So I don't think many people knew who she was compared to James, Jeffree Star. James eventually came out with a video kind of in response to Tati. I believe it was 8 minutes long. People were a little upset because I didn't see any ads when I watched it, but people were claiming that he put in ads, and
I saw some ads on there.
In Tati's 43-minute video, she did not post one ad. So it even kind of put this worse light of that he's all about money type situation. And so in his video, I could not bear to even watch it. There was no emotion, which I understand that he must honestly be traumatized at all the hate he's receiving and how his career is kind of altering right now. But he addresses Tati and her husband James, and the first words he just says is, "I'm sorry," and he pauses, and there's just no emotion. It feels like a forced apology so he can somehow regain some of his subscribers. And
to Tati and James Westbrook, I'm sorry for everything that is going on and everything that I've put you through over the past few weeks.
He kind of repeats what Tati says in a different sense from his point of view of their relationship. And, you know, I just expected something more. If you've ever seen Laura Lee's apology video, it is similarly as bad. Laura Lee got in trouble for saying the N-word. She is also in the beauty community. And a lot of people are comparing their apology videos because there seems to be no emotion. And it seems as if these people do not even care about their fan base or their friends. It's more so at a money aspect. But I couldn't even make it through the 8-minute video, which kind of says a lot because I was able to watch Tati's 43-minute video. But I don't know. What did you think about the video?
I mean, I'm on the same boat as you. I could barely get through the first 3 minutes of James's video, but I mean, I did sit through all 43 minutes of Tati's video, and I mean, like, I do agree that there are good points, but everything that heard me on like this high place where I'm sure there's something that has yet to be talked about on Tati's side, because everybody has something that
I agree.
that's going to be talked about, but James Charles just came first, and and I mean, if somebody like raised you and gave you your career, I mean, you would have like a lot of things on that. And I mean, if you didn't, the one thing I have a problem about is that if she didn't bring this idea and this this issue out to the public eye, then James would have kept going. I mean, if you're not getting caught, you're gonna keep doing it.
Yeah, and a lot of his friends would have still stayed his friends. Jeffree Star released a public statement. He added James's brother, Ian, I think is his name. He added him questioning, because I think Ian made a claim as, why does everyone act so tough over the internet? And Jeffree made a claim about how is your brother a sexual predator? He added James, calling him different terrible names, which is fair on Jeffree's part, but Jeffree has seen making videos with James. They have tons of videos together. They've gone on trips. They've gone to different events. And Jeffree says he hasn't hung out with him since February, but you cannot ignore the fact that they were once good friends, and now Jeffree's turned on his back. Both of the Dolan twins, who you can watch videos of James making sexual comments towards them. It's kind of cringy. And they have unfollowed him.
But so, like, one of the biggest controversies, or just one of the main points, still on the waiter situation, would be that since James was making those crude remarks about doing stuff to him explicitly next to Tati and her family, would be that he replied with, "It doesn't matter, I'm a celebrity," which should not be the case in anybody's case, because I mean, if one normal person, if it's wrong for them, it's wrong for everybody. It's not.
Sure.
It's not, since you're at a higher social standard, that you don't get excused from the law or moral standards or anything.
Which is definitely something a lot of celebrities believe. But
she also brings out that, like, a fat bank account and fame and a fan base will change a person, definitely. Which is true.
I think James Charles has definitely gotten caught up in that, and the fact that he is 19, he is legally adult, but he's still extremely young. I feel like all of the attraction he's gotten has definitely gotten to his head. What's I gonna bring up? Now, just looking at the news, past posts, if you just search James Charles, it's posts left and right made minutes ago from different news channels covering this. So I don't think there's a single person who I could talk to that does not know about this controversy right now, which that makes me feel even more so bad for him, because I don't know how he's gonna overcome this, especially with his whole makeup brand releasing his palette, which I have. It is a great palette. I will not destroy it. He already has my money. But I'm curious too if the company Morphe, which he collaborated to make it, is going to somehow drop it, because I guarantee the sales on it are going to decrease, and they had great sales. It was one of the most sold palettes. So I'm just kind of concerned on.
I think what he needs to do is come out and actually publicly try and apologize. He needs to, and then he needs to publicly apologize. And then if he does put ads on his video, all of that revenue needs to go to a certain charity, or maybe invest in Tati's own vitamin. Invest in that.
Halo,
Yeah, invest in Halo, and then come out with a PR move. that might be your PR move. It's kind of like the fact that happened with Logan Paul. But people are saying that it's worse than Logan Paul. I don't think anything is worse than Logan Paul.
I personally don't.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't think anything could be maybe I don't know, but like
filming a dead body, making jokes about it. Which, I mean, we're comparing apples and oranges. It's kind of a touchy situation.
It is a touchy
to get
situation, but it's just he needs to come out with a PR move that will change the market for PR. This is a big scandal. I mean, like Logan Paul donated millions to suicide prevention and which is a great move. I mean, like it was a good first step. And then I don't know if he's changed a lot, but you need to. It's great to make a first step,
which he will, because obviously this is the one thing he has going for him. This is where his money comes from, and I know he's probably better off. Okay, so not knowing exactly where I was at, but if James Charles does, I think he needs to release a different type of apology. I know people are mad because his was only 8 minutes, but I wouldn't also want to sit through another 43-minute video. But definitely something more. He didn't really bring anything to the table that nobody had heard of before. He just brought up common issues. He didn't bring any like new perspectives, no reason, which I mean, I wouldn't want him to try and just make an apology video where he just tries to clear his name and talk about how there's certain aspects that weren't seen. Like, I want him to address the problem and actually own up to it, but I definitely wish he would have done more than just said sorry, because that's basically all I got out of the 8 minutes, even though I couldn't even watch all of it. But I think he needs to release a new video, and I honestly I don't even know what he needs to say to convince the world he's okay. You know, does he need to go to some sort of therapy for his problem? Does he have a problem? I know there is a ton of evidence against him at this point. There's a ton of false evidence too that people are creating to gain attention, just like all the other YouTubers using his name in their titles to gain views. But I think he needs to show that he's trying to get help for that somehow through, I don't know. I think he needs to show that he's getting help. I think he needs to apologize to not only Tati, I think he needs to apologize to everyone. I think he needs to talk about his whole view on why he chose the Sugar Bear Hair vitamins and didn't choose hers.
Well, the reason he chose the Sugar Bear Hair vitamins would be the Coachella security when he was at the event.
Did he actually claim that?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I know that's what she said, and I know he claimed.
Yeah, I have a video of it. But like the first step to, I guess, recovering would be to come out and apologize better than you did. And then second would be your big PR move, which you need to do. You need to show people that you're really truly sorry, and that means money.
I also think he needs to quit using his Twitter, his Instagram, his YouTube in the way he is. Because if you look at James Charles' Twitter, he basically comes back at every single person who makes a bad comment about him, which any celebrity knows you're not supposed to do.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure Shane Dawson and his fiance Ryan Adams have both addressed him on his issue with talking towards 10-year-olds, 15-year-olds, other kids that just come at him for no reason. I think he just needs to stop addressing situations, because it just makes him look more pathetic as a celebrity who is supposed to be a role model for people, and he's just spreading more tea and drama, if you will.
And then for the second step, I mean, like, I would put on your apology video, I would put ads on it for once. For once, you put ads on the apology video, and then donate all that ad revenue, to either Tati or I guess like an organization that will accept donations to the main one would be Tati. If she doesn't accept it, try to look for an organization
which
that supports.
I don't think she would.
I don't think she
Because
would
she's
either.
already claimed how much money she has. I think either he'd have to put an ad and he'd have to publicly like say, hey, all the money from that is going towards
you have to
this.
say that.
Otherwise, he could start up something. He is a celebrity after all. He could start up some campaign that he could somehow get donations.
And then you don't want to
towards,
make
and
you
use
don't
his
want to
own
make a
money.
video on how much you raised for the ad revenue. You just want to maybe put like a confirmation on Twitter, like a photo,
Mhm.
saying like this is how much we donated in my apology video, and just say thank you all for understanding, and then I'll
He needs to show that some of the money he's making is actually going towards
charity or
charity. People he cares about, his subscribers, his fans are probably also feeling that he's using them. You know, not only is people seeing him manipulating people's sexual orientations, but to buy his products and to like use his makeup and to subscribe to him. Like he's definitely like promoted all of his merchandise, and like kids see this and he's building an empire for his name. So I think he needs to somehow show that he's somehow taking all of the money that he's getting from all these different things and actually putting it to good use besides
Anything else?
I don't know.
I think we're good.
Can we just say that James Charles made an oopsie?
James Charles made an oopsie. Thank you guys for watching. That's stupid.
And so as of right now, there seems to be no more news. James hasn't come out with anything else. I don't think Tati has either. Just a lot of is flooding within media of different news channels covering it.
James Charles has now lost over 2.6 million now, and then Tati has gained over 4 million.
4 million.
4 million now
Jeez.
at the time of posting this, and she's on today will be the day that she's hitting. May the 14th will be the day that she hits 10 million subscribers and gets her diamond play button. So
I guess we'll just have to see. I think James Charles, I think his sub count's still gonna keep dropping. I don't know how low it's gonna get, but it's dropping 1 million a day at this point.
Yep.
So I guess we'll just have to see how he fixes this whole situation, even if he can. I think if people can forgive Logan Paul, and if Logan Paul can start and people watch his videos, I think people can forgive James. But he's definitely gonna have to work hard for it. So,
Yep.
What are we saying?
Your outro, bro.
What's our
What you
outro?
start with it. So what you started with. Bye, sisters.
Do I have to say thanks for listening to our podcast?
Tea time.
Thanks for listening to our new podcast, Tea Time. And Cody Ben and I are out. Bye, sisters.